All right, folks, good evening. This is the Town of Fairfield Conservation Commission. Today is November 19th, 2025. Lucas Thomas. Yeah. Here, Heather is here, Rosenthal, Diane Saunders is here, Heather Singer is here. Okay. Right. Allegiance to the flag of the United States. Member for tonight, full member. The Conservation Commission meeting minutes from October 2025. Does any commissioner have any corrections or comments? Otherwise, yeah.
Under old business conservation easement. I don't want to leave out Ted. It says Jay and me discussed a document, but
Well,
Ted's
no, I take
also.
no responsibility.
Okay, well, you can be left out if you want, Ted, but I'm just pointing out that you're on the subcommittee also.
What do you want me to add Ted's name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to the discussion of the easement.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, Tim's online, just in case you haven't realized it.
Oh, he
Yeah.
can't mute himself, sorry.
And granted camera permission. That's what I got.
Okay, try now. Tim.
Tim?
To be able to.
I
Okay.
can't even.
Other than that, commissioners, any corrections or comments? Otherwise, motion to approve. Ted, and anybody seconds? Diane. All in favor? Okay.
There we go.
Well, something clicked.
Yeah, the mic was just gone. I mean.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
I just can't get any camera. It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Oh gee, sorry. Oh my goodness.
All right.
They tell me all these security things that I have to do, so.
All right, well.
Wasn't sure what kind of video it was gonna, all right, here you go.
So that's.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just so you look like Peter's dog.
All right.
I'm not quite sure how to
I think
take
the
that.
dog's better looking.
I'm
All
not
right.
sure if you should take
We
it.
moved on, Tim, to new business, number 1, Mill Hill Terrace Sewer Improvement. Presented by the engineering department. Hello.
Hello, guest.
Okay.
That's what-
It's like I thought you had the wrong meeting or something.
Yeah, we're here to, for a presentation, and just to ask, what would be required if, something were to happen. And what I mean by that is the sewer department and engineering department. Mega Jane is the, project engineer and manager on this, project, but she has another meeting she had to go to. So I'm gonna do the best I can here to explain, what, the sewer department, WPCA is trying to do. This is the Mill River Pump Station. It's across from the open space. It's near the Sturgis Road Bridge. If anyone does not know where that is. On one of the plans that was submitted, you'll see the number 47 on one of the plans there, and that represents the sewer pump station. There's basically 2 lines in this area. One is an active force main, and the other is what we would call a reserve, where if the sewer department feels because of development or something like that, they need the second line, or in this case, if the main line has to have some repair, they can use the reserve line or the second line to do the work while work is being done on the first. I believe right now the second line is still inactive, but has a lot of water in it. They have done, the sewer department themselves have a camera, but they don't have the latest and greatest equipment. And so they have TV'd the line, the CCTV'd the line, video, however you want to say it. And there aren't many problems in the very beginning of the line, but as you get closer to the intersection of Old Mill, and then especially as you start to make some corners, 45-degree angle points, there tends to be all sorts of water involved. So they have hired, they just had the bid opening today. So they will be hiring. The apparent low bidder is a company called National Water Main. They're experienced contractors throughout Connecticut and the Northeast. They have worked with the town before. They will videotape the sections that the WPCA were unable to videotape. And then from there, they will, if there's any issues or problems, they hope to access these through the manholes that are on the line and go from there. But there is a possibility that they may have to go, if there's an issue, we'll just say 10 feet from the manhole. They may not be able to access from the manhole, so there might be like an excavation that has to be done or something like that. The wetland soil is pretty much what they did flag. I'm gonna get it right here, the north side of Mill River. Or on the page, it's on your left-hand side. The right-hand side, they did not flag, but on the GIS, it's basically that whole, about 90% of that whole parcel is wetlands. So there was really no need to flag that. We know we're in the wetland area. So as I said before, the whole concept here is that we're going to do exploration work, but then if there's an immediate problem, we'll have to come and do some repairs. So we might be doing it where we have to work with conservation staff, let them know, hey, we got to do some excavation or whatever before we get to you. If it's one of those situations like, oh, okay, there's a little displacement in the pipe, we have some time, then we'll obviously go through the regular permit process. We just didn't want to be disrespectful if you found out, wait, there's a machine out there. They never went for a permit. We just wanted to explain the reasons why. After we video the line, there'll be another meeting with the contractor. Conservation will be invited, and we will obviously update anything that is determined after that video. So that's basically it. I'm here to answer any questions or relay questions if I can't answer them. I'm sure Mega or Michelle Gore will be able to, and we can go from there. So we just wanted to give the commission a heads up.
The one question I would have is, the one map I'm looking at, it has number 44 and then number 45,
Right.
right? So I'm assuming that that's
The crossing.
That's a crossing. So, is it possible in the future, you coming back and saying, we gotta dig under there, take that pipe out and put a new pipe? And is that something that's something that could happen?
Very slight possibility for that.
Okay.
What right now, based on the preliminary knowledge, as I said, we didn't do the whole line, and that's the one area where we didn't get to do. But our hopes also for economics is to line the pipe.
Okay,
So that's what, and by that, we'd be able to access the manholes. It would only be if there was some tremendous issue that we would have to do that. So hopefully that answers your question. But yes, if we had to do that, we'd have to come up, we'd have to work with conservation on either an emergency plan and then do the permit as we're going along. Or, if it's something that could wait, but is a major issue, then we would come and go before you with the permit.
gotcha. Commissioners, any other questions?
I think it is kind of work that, routine that needs to get done. And it's
Yeah.
important if the pipe breaks like that, then there's a real problem. So.
Right, exactly. Environmentally and, eliminating I&I, the town has spent, millions trying to do that because that helps lower the capacity or what's coming into the plant, I should say, the capacity.
The flows.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim, anything?
No, we're working well with engineering as always. I just wanted initially when this we had our pre-meeting with engineering and the consultant, I made recommendation to bring it to the commission because there may be some activity on open space, whether it's invasive or not, but again, necessary work. I have no problems with it from the department end. So I just, wanted to make sure that the commission knew about it.
Sometimes that's an opportunity if there's a small disturbance, remove invasive species, plant some new vegetation, clean things up, so.
Yeah, if
That
we end
has
up
to
doing
happen,
some
you know.
site disturbance, yeah, we would look into that just as any other developer or whatever, any other project that comes before you. As I said, we hope to do everything through the manholes, but sometimes things happen and we just wanted to let you know that. The minute we know of anything, we will let conservation staff and Tim know. And then, as I said, we just wanted to make you aware of a project that's up and coming. So just in case you do see, even if you just see equipment, you'd be, hey, what's going on here? You know that the first phase is to video the line. So you may see some vehicles out there. And also, and if you see National Water Main, then you know that, as I said, that's the apparent low bidder, but most likely they'll be awarded the job. And then you'll know that's this project. So. Right, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to number 2, 845 Millville Terrace, proposed conservation easement. Okay.
Yeah, so we received from Land Tech 2 documents related to the 845 Mill Hill Terrace application. One being a drainage easement and the other being the conservation easement. As you recall, this has been discussed before this commission as well as the agency. So those the applicant or I'll leave him as the applicant. Land Tech has given us draft documents for the commission's review. And that's what's attached here for discussion tonight.
Tim, is this their template or our template?
This came directly from them.
So I didn't really have a chance to go through this thoroughly. We can have a package this week and then just download all this stuff. But we've been working as a committee a lot on these conservation easements and the language. I think this is a much better template than our old conservation language. I still think it needs a little bit more wordsmithing and polishing up before I would be comfortable with it. I don't know how everybody else feels.
I definitely agree with that. I think the language has to be a lot more tightly defined. In fact, this is a legal document and most legal documents have a section on definitions, defined terms. This doesn't have that at all, except for defining grantor, grantee. So I think that has to be added because in general, I think we've gotten into some problems recently where people have challenged us on the enforceability of our easements. And I think this is one of the reasons why, when it's vague and there's no defined terms, people don't even know what it means.
Yeah, and then,
So Jay's right, it needs to be tightened up quite a bit. But I just wrote down a few of the more substantive items that are either missing or vague. Like prohibited activities, they list some, but it's not very complete. There's a lot more that we put in there. In fact, if you look at, I had asked Tim to post, this is one of the sample easement documents that we've been collecting. It's from the Connecticut Land Conservation Council. I think it's very good. Not that we would necessarily, copy the whole thing, but I think it's pretty complete. And if you look on page 8, this is it. A whole long list, prohibitive structures, changes in topography, changes to vegetation, pesticides, which I don't know if that's even mentioned in this easement. Trash, what to do about people throwing trash on the property, which we've had some examples of that. What to do about pollution that's caused on the property. So I think, if we go through and just add more language, and I think one of the really important things that we've been discussing a lot that isn't even in here is our right to inspect.
Right. Inspection and.
I don't think they had anything on that.
No.
And what's interesting about this document is, they said the inspections can be done by drones. And I thought, well, that's interesting. We should put that in.
You can
because
be,
then we
you
don't
gotta
even
be a
have
little
to
bit
go on the
careful with that,
property.
because the courts have held that that's, in order for us, land use officers to go on a property, they have to have the owner's permission. That's what the, so, court case establishing that. And if, and by extension, they've also determined that inspection by drone has to be done legally, can't be an illegal.
Oh, right. I'm not saying
Yeah,
we would just fly a drone over. I'm saying, we could propose to do an inspection by drone.
As
And,
long as it's contained in this document, I think, okay, but yeah,
Right.
you can't just go and start doing that.
but if it's not even in the document, then we probably wouldn't be able to do it.
But
So, I mean, these are all sorts of things that I think should be in there. Another one is our right to require the owner to restore the property if it's damaged.
Legal fees too.
We would have the right to take immediate action to prevent or mitigate damage without notice to the grantor. There's a prohibition on subdivision, which is an interesting idea. What if they want to subdivide the property? This would prohibit that. And there's a section on what the town is allowed to post for signage and indemnification of the town for any liability. So I mean, this was a nice stab at an easement, but I think you can see it was sort of written from
Your perspective.
their perspective.
Sure. That's why it's here in front of us now.
I think we should just completely redraft it, do it as more of a,
Well, I don't want
Tighter-
us to do it. I mean, we have recommendations. We have our subcommittee that had that, and that was part of it. And then I think it would be whatever items you want, maybe best if we can identify them, get them over to Tim, and then have Tim get them to Phil. Because Phil is our counsel, and he can draw something up. Tim, what do you think about that idea?
Yeah, very good. That's not a problem.
Okay,
I
so.
think after our last discussion, that's the way we should be working in that direction. We should be generating a template for all these types.
Maybe this is a perfect opportunity, so.
I think, we could do what you just said, we could make our comments and then have our attorney deal with it, but I think this is a good opportunity for us to try and come up with a standard form that we're gonna use going forward.
I understand that, and that's why the subcommittee had it, but it's I don't think we should lock ourselves into a boilerplate standard form.
Well, we
Every
wouldn't
place
lock
will be-
ourselves into it.
We should have terms that we like, but
Mhm.
maybe there's some that'll be swapped in and swapped out.
Right.
Yes.
I think just
Yeah.
we got a framework to start with.
Yes, yeah, and I think this is a good opportunity for that to happen. So if we can get our ideas from, ideally the subcommittee, I think I saw you guys put
Yeah,
something
we have a
together.
lot of it together.
Right,
It's
yeah.
just, I didn't have a chance, I've been very busy. I haven't had a chance to really go through this.
So we should maybe take it back as a committee, look
Yeah.
at it and come up with the
That would be fine.
suggestions, recommendations. My main thing is lighting and adding that into the
Yes.
easement.
Yeah, lighting and there's,
Well, that's on the agenda next. Yeah.
And then, well, part of this, there's, in the model ordinances for these conservation, often they contain language regarding lighting, so it's not,
Yeah, that's new.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah, so, I don't have any Tim, on on the drainage easement, that's not
That's
something
not
that,
for us.
that's not really for us, that's more for,
That's, the-
DPW,
yeah,
Yeah, for the agency.
for us or for DP, for, we don't really get
Uh,
involved.
and engineering.
Okay. That would, on that one, I probably wouldn't, I would defer to engineering on that one. The one point I wanted to make about this, I don't know if this point was ever made. This was a parcel was discussed a couple of years ago. And ended up with a big discussion with the Open Space Committee about, they wanted to have this as open space. But, I don't know if it ever brought forward to them that basically we got the money for the open space and we're getting conservation easement for, so we accomplished the purposes, the goals that they had originally kind of set out. Just wanted to bring that forward to everybody's attention.
Thank you for that. It's important.
I think
Because they
we,
were
we
very-
were criticized for not accepting it as an open space for us. I don't think it was appropriate as an open space. It was
Right.
too small, too isolated and not easily accessible. But we've accomplished we got money so we could buy more open space. We also accomplished preserving which is significant riparian buffer the Sherwood Mill Pond. So I think that the process that we went through worked on this.
Right.
Yeah. They were very unhappy at the time.
very, very good. We're not even really voting on that. It's just, we're just gonna do
We'll,
it then, right?
we'll get comments to Tim.
Yeah, we'll get comments to you then. Okay,
Yes, thank you.
all right.
Good work.
Uh,
Good work from the subcommittee.
moving on to number 3, it's a discussion of the recommendation to form a subcommittee related to responsible lighting and the commission's advisory role.
So this is based on my discussion with Tim and the fact that a lot of new science has really highlighted the damage that's done by artificial light at night on all ecosystems, and that it's having a significant deleterious effect on natural systems and ecosystem services. And what I suggested to Tim was, in our role as Conservation Commission, we can advise other departments within the town as well as promote knowledge sharing or educational events with the general public. And what I would like to put together is a public service campaign talking about paying attention to lighting at night, things you can do to reduce unnecessary lighting at night, and maybe have a subcommittee pulled together. I've already reached out to the library because I think Pequot Library is like a poster child of a building that's well lit at night. It's beautiful, it's very low light, and using that as a poster child, and then do presentations at the libraries, same sort of thing I do for Pollinator Pathway, but this time focusing on artificial light at night. And I've also reached out to Lights Out Connecticut, possibly participate with us. And we have some examples of other conservation commissions that have done the same. Guilford is one of them, and there's an example of another one where they've done a joint outreach campaign to the public. And I would be happy to lead that, and if anyone wants to work with me on it, I've got thoughts as far as, before and after pictures, maybe a contest for the, most attractive reimagination of a property with the lighting being, done in a responsible manner. It's important to me, I can do it via Pollinator Pathway, but for the Conservation Commission to be leading this kind of an initiative, I think is appropriate, given our charter and the areas that we're asked to take a lead in, and I'd like to take a lead in this area.
Well, you've been a champion of it for quite a while now.
Yeah.
I thought we had done this already, though. Didn't we file or approve that the town of Fairfield now consider implementing lighting?
We had the town follow the state adjustment to their lighting policy
Okay.
for town buildings.
Right.
And you know,
So
that. and
what
that
is
went to
it
the
that
first
we're
selectman.
gonna be doing now? Because I know we also had a conversation where just on an individual application by application basis, you're free to bring it up.
Right, right.
So what is it that?
Well, I would like the Conservation Commission to sponsor a public educational campaign, making people aware of the impact of lighting at night and working on education and driving behavior, which has been done by other conservation commissions. So there is precedence for that. And it's also in our charter at the state level to lead, educate, and inform other departments and other organizations that are similar to ourselves. So I think I'm advocating a bit more of an aggressive position on the part of conservation.
You are.
Yeah, and I don't think that surprises anyone.
It doesn't. But I mean, I applaud your efforts again, that you're trying to do it. I'm just uncomfortable where it goes into, it leaves our jurisdiction. It leaves the wetlands, inland wetlands, that we have. But I understand that there might be, you know, some research that says that they get affected. I can, you know,
So,
as far as the subcommittee goes.
yeah, let's look into it.
I'm not sure. I'll leave it up to the commission,
What
but I
about
think
conservation?
you're the,
As opposed to inland wetlands.
you're
Yeah.
the,
Okay,
you're
that-
the,
just throw that out.
you've already compiled all the information as a subcommittee. So I mean, I don't know if we need more of a subcommittee. It just, maybe we can discuss what is it that you want, you would like
Well,
the conservation.
If anybody would like to join me and have a conversation around that, I've got some ideas, but I'm open to other ideas as well. See if we can come back with a proposed course of action to see what the commission thinks.
All right, I'll open the floor up to the.
Anybody wants to join me or? I'll-
You are a subcommittee.
Yeah, I mean, not in a bad way. I mean, you are the subcommittee. If
I-
somebody
I-
wants to join you, that's
I meant
fine.
That is a
You're-
compliment.
You've done all the work that you would appoint a subcommittee to do, so I don't think you need a subcommittee. If you want to informally have people help you that are commissioners or,
Right,
you
so
know,
what,
that's fine.
why don't I make this suggestion then? At the next meeting,
Yeah,
I will put in front of the commission a proposed program.
okay.
And we can all look at it and decide if we want to support it, and go from there. But I've got a lot of ideas of interesting things to get the community engaged and get people talking, which is
Right.
what I'm really trying to make happen.
I will tell you my personal opinion. I don't want to get off topic on conservation or inland wetlands. I know we wear two different hats. I don't want to spread ourselves thin or get off topic on what we're doing here. So, I appreciate, that you did all the research, that you found 2 towns out of 169 that do it. And maybe we will be the third one, but I'm not sure we're there yet, but the information that you provide, maybe parts of it we can incorporate somehow.
I've been to events and I can't remember specifically what, but the Lights Out Connecticut group is very willing to come and give presentations. It's not like we have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
They're very happy to do
And
that.
there's another group up in Upper that does the same thing. They'll come and speak to municipalities and stuff like that. So if you wanted like maybe do like a speak, like we could have like sponsor with like Mill River Wetland Committee or something like that in conservation, have a speaker come and maybe something like that to educate,
Sure.
and maybe Earth Day or something,
Luke, are you saying that you would be comfortable with conservation being an advisory kind of?
Yes.
Okay, that's
I
kind
would
of
be
what the drift I
uncomfortable with
got.
us telling other departments, other, without, I mean. Yes,
Taking on an advisory role.
Right,
Yeah.
we are an advisory role for people that come here and ask
What
us to
about
do
what-
something.
Like now I see Kate's talking about maybe partnering, so we're not.
with a speaker,
advising-
like for a speaker, like for like,
Yeah.
like for someone,
That's
at
okay.
the Pequot Library, you could have someone talk about like, there's.
But how do we?
And we've done that.
Yes.
We did a living bird friendly series.
Exactly.
Pollinator
They do lots
Pathways,
of different-
Lights Out Connecticut.
I mean, if we, that's why these Lights Out Connecticut's, let's call them the experts, right? So if our town planning and zoning says, oh, I need to know more about lighting, I'm not sure if we're that qualify.
They can ask us and we can introduce them to Lights Out
Yeah, so we're,
as an advisory.
we're a conduit for information, right? We're,
Well, a conservation commission shall conduct research into the utilization and possible utilization of land areas of the municipality and may coordinate the activities of unofficial bodies organized for similar purposes and may advertise, prepare, and distribute books, maps, charts, plans, pamphlets as necessary for its purposes. It may propose a greenways plan for inclusion in the plan of conservation and development for the municipality prepared pursuant to section 823. This is the
Yeah,
state.
that's the statute.
This is the state on conservation. And to me, this is saying Conservation Commission is perfectly within its rights to advise other departments within the town, to advise other areas within the community, act as a leader in promoting the conservation of our lands, our waters, and everything else. And I'm kind of advocating our doing more of that. That's kind of where I'm coming from. So where everybody else feel, that's why
is
I'm
that,
discussing it.
is that role more providing information to those stakeholders, to those municipalities, to those businesses, to those, or is it more of a regulatory role?
Or
I think you're
Conservation
uncomfortable with.
Commission.
I think
I'm-
that's right. Yes, right.
Yeah,
Conservation
I'm
Commission is
saying
an
like,
advisory committee.
yeah, I mean, we
We're
I
not
could,
see it
regular.
more as a public service, providing a public service to the town where we're considered
We do have,
a conduit to expertise.
by statute, we're, P and Z has to refer all subdivisions to us for comment, even if we're not. So I don't see any conflict for us bringing forth good conservation practices.
Good science, what the latest research says, what's happening, right? Like in the case of the easement language, lighting is now part of the standard language as it's being brought forward. They're doing deed restrictions as part one, and then they have to submit a lighting plan as part of the easement process. So the science is moving forward and I try and keep up with it as far as lighting is.
Yeah, and I think that planning and zoning has adopted regulations that are at least aware of the situation.
And
they
we could
do,
write them a letter as well to,
we could do it as a commission, we could do it as individuals, but it's not, this isn't a black hole. Everybody knows about this lighting stuff
Right.
and there are advocates. And planning and zoning does, take that into consideration, I believe.
so what I think I hear you saying, Tyler, is that that's part of, native plantings and, wildlife, stuff like that. That's part of sort of what we talk about here, right? And what we try to champion
right, for the
here.
town.
But I think I hear you saying beyond the wetland application for the people that aren't necessarily.
Conservation's a bigger umbrella
Right,
Right.
right, right.
than inland wetlands.
Right, it's two different.
Inland
houses.
wetlands has more power from a
Yeah.
legal perspective, but conservation has the ability to influence and support the community.
Right.
And, providing the latest science, what are the trends? We go to events, symposiums. Is there things we learn there that we should be sharing with the public? And, just as a public service, as part of conservation.
Well, the role
Just
is
like
domestic.
pollinator pathway.
Like pollinator pathway, more specifically to.
How about, I would
conservation.
I would love to see if these folks would like to come in, maybe talk to us
Oh, sure.
and then see how that works.
Well, I can get Craig Rapaz here in a heartbeat. He's Lights Out Connecticut.
Yeah, that,
I think a distinction I was hearing Dabney kind of allude to was the difference between providing information as opposed to providing advice
advice. Yeah, that's
and
where
conditions
I'm
and
uncomfortable with that. But if we want to be a conduit,
for
say,
information.
hey, these 10 groups are out there, they're great. They've come in, they've spoken to us. I have no issue with that. But if somebody's gonna come to us as an expert, I don't think the statute says that we're lay people, doing this.
Right.
I don't think I'm comfortable saying that you need to do this because I just happen to be on this commission. It should be a choice that a developer or somebody makes with the good sound advice from these agencies.
My feeling is
From
that
these
we
groups.
provide a public service.
Yeah.
Which is connecting people to sources of information. And one of the things I was thinking of as part of this is I would volunteer to go help people assess their lighting and give them recommendations as to things they can do to be consistent with responsible lighting.
But you're free to do that now. You don't have to, and you can
Well, but
say you're a commissioner and you can do it now.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need us to, or permission
You want the
from us
weight
to do it.
of the commission.
yeah, I think it would add to
It gives
the
legitimacy to, yeah.
gravitas of what it is we're trying to
Well, what
say.
you're proposing is sort of like the forestry committee where they go out.
Yeah.
And they advise
Not unlike,
on what trees to plant.
right,
I mean, I think that's a great idea.
yeah, so.
But to advise or to provide information, I just,
Well, I'm
I
not
think
sure
that's a-
what the difference
No, there's
is.
a
We're
big
not
difference.
telling people
I
what
don't want to be
do.
coerced. I don't want to coerce
Right.
anybody to say, I'm the Conservation Commission. My advice to you is, you better put that light that way, the way I say it, as opposed to, here's a good option for you. If you'd like to do it, go for it. If not,
What I hear
These are
him
best
saying
practices.
is,
These
he's
are
talking
best
about
practices.
options.
yeah, I mean, let's get these folks in to talk to us. Maybe that'd be
I
great.
can go ahead and set that up.
yeah.
That's very easy.
Maybe.
kind of like one of those, some people say things.
No,
Some
that's
people
not-
say that
I'm-
this is,
I'm-
that this is a good way to do it.
I will say, when I go up to Vermont, I see the Milky Way up there, it's like a whole different.
It makes a big difference.
And I think Ted is right. I think that there is a big push, especially with LED lights now that it's so much cheaper. People are lighting the things that they didn't use to light. So I do think that this is not just Connecticut, this is nationwide. I mean, this is a big issue that,
Sky Glow is increasing.
yes, it really, yeah.
10%. It's,
We live next
it's a
door
real
to
issue.
the church on North Benson Road, and a couple of years ago, they decided to change their lights. And so they put these, I don't even know what they were, these giant LED lights up, and they turned on, you remember that movie with
The Seinfeld, was it?
no, with Chevy Chase where they
Oh.
go.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. All of a sudden, her whole house was lit up. I called planning and zoning the next day, and they fixed it. But
Right.
it makes a difference, and
Well,
using smart
well,
lighting. Is,
Every night driving home from
But
these meetings.
that's what you call planning and zoning.
there are lighting regulations, and they're not supposed to be doing that. And they do have to have a permit
All right.
to change the lighting.
Well, I certainly think you were the right person to work on driving this, however.
I
Some
agree
sort
with
of-
that. I mean, you
I'm
have
happy
this
to,
for over a
I'm
year.
happy to do it.
So let's see if we
Just
can
just
get them
the
in, like,
presentation you
in
made
January
now
or,
was
after.
very
after summer,
articulate.
but See if we can get them in. Sorry.
Okay.
Tim, you good? With that?
Yes, that works. Thank you.
All right, great. All right. We have the 2026 meeting calendar. Let's see. Now we gotta get out our own personal calendars and see if there's any conflict. So anybody with schools, I know we did that last year, there's vacations that we just put with or holidays.
The second full week of April is spring break, the 13th to the 17th for Fairfield Public School.
All right, so we don't,
don't have
that's
that.
why it's scheduled for,
The 15th.
oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, why does it
Why
have?
is
the-
it-
Okay, wait, let me just double check that.
No, because it's already scheduled for the 8th. I'm looking at.
You know what? It might be the 20th, which is why it's on the 15th, but I'm just gonna double check.
Also, if it's helpful, we could, we don't have to vote till next month.
Okay.
Oh,
If you want
okay.
to take it home and look.
There we go.
I just wanted to give it to you, a month in advance.
We usually have no second meeting in July and no meeting in August. Is that what it usually is?
But we scheduled them this year just in case. We didn't use them, but
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
keep that practice, I think. Schedule them, but don't use them. It's better to cancel than to do a special meeting. And is everybody okay with July again for that part?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so spring break is the 13th to the 17th of April. I'm not really sure why we have them back to back anyway, that month.
And why?
I think admin thought there was a
You know, I bet they thought
holiday
it was,
on April 1st.
uh,
Is there a religious holiday?
April
Easter?
3rd.
Thursday.
April 3rd
That's
is
my
Good
favorite
Friday.
holiday.
October on April 4th.
Religious.
That's, to me, it is.
Oh, okay.
April 3rd is Good
Celebrate
Friday
fools.
and April
First was Passover.
1st is Passover.
April
right?
1st is Passover? That's why.
That's
Okay.
why, yeah.
So then is the 8th an issue for anybody? So then then we do the 15th, switch it to the 22nd.
Hmm.
And that would be, and that's a conservation one. And if it's a light schedule, it might just get canceled anyway.
Yeah.
Possibly. Who knows?
That makes sense. anyway.
Correct.
Okay.
February.
So what are we doing for July and August?
August is our regular meetings. July will be noticed, but they will most likely be canceled.
Oh, yeah. I can double check, but I think June 17th is Ludlow graduation. Not that, okay, no,
No.
just me and Sarah and I wouldn't be here, but I'll double check that.
Okay, so, maybe it is best. We'll just put this on for next month,
Yeah.
Tim, and
Yeah, that was the intent. I was provided in November, so we have a month to mull it over and come back on the December meeting.
all right. Meeting number 5, the agenda materials, paper, and digital for the Inland Wetlands Agency. And we've had this discussion a couple of times in the past as well. Commissioners, your thoughts? I'm sorry, I'm old school. I still like some paper. I know
I
it's a
still like
burden. I
paper.
know it's a burden. I'm sorry, but
I can't review the site plans like I do
I know.
without the
Yeah.
paper version.
I know. Tim, did this come up because
The maps are one
applicants
thing.
were complaining,
Everything
or
else can be
is
electronic.
it more for an efficiency thing, or?
Better make that.
Not at all. I actually put it on there just to open up the discussion and, as commissioners come and go, I thought it would be helpful to, as far as an efficiency within the department to, out of the 10 commissioners, if, one or more say, I'm fine with digital, don't print me out the paper, don't give me the paper. I'd be happy, just like that. It's one less drive, it's one less pile of, trees. It's,
We're all old.
Somebody said that.
I'm just checking to make sure that
Yeah.
I'm speaking for everybody.
Yes.
We're all a lot older than you are.
totally fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's
Even when you
to-
blow it up on
I
screen,
know.
I'm like, I cannot
I
see
know.
this. Yeah.
Tim, I would
totally
say that,
fine if it stays the same.
would
I
pick
just
up my
wanted to
packets
throw it out there if
lined up.
anyone was.
How about this? Commissioners, put it upon yourself to
Pick it
work
up.
with our department. If you can pick it up, let them
Right,
know
yeah.
well in advance. And if you can't, let's try that. Let's.
Yeah, I mean, the delivery is not a problem. The three of us drive, take 3 or 4 and we drive around, which is fine. It was just an option because I know it's come up and some people like Ted said he would be fine without it. If there were more, fine. If not, fine. It's working. I don't, if there was a room for improvement, then I would take it. If not, it doesn't matter. So if you don't want to receive paper, then just let me know personally, and otherwise we'll continue as we do.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't reprint, I mean, as applications move into the following month, we never reprint any of the materials, correct?
Correct. You guys hang on to those when they come in your packets and by delivery. Only time we get additional materials like you'll get for the agency, you'll get for 590 just was because Land Tech made significant changes, so they're going to reprint 17 more copies. That'll be distributed, but otherwise no.
I mean, would this be an option? Digital delivery, but then the paper is here.
That's what I was thinking. Is that what-
No.
Well, because it comes too late, I think,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, every weekend before the meeting, I spend
You-
hours.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It was just a dumb thought.
And it's
Okay.
Shame on
Fine
you for
me.
even suggesting that.
All right, well.
But I think we could
We're
pick
old
them up, or
school.
we could,
We
we
can
can do
figure
it
it out.
ourselves. I
We
mean,
can
like,
figure it out.
we all,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
yeah, we
like-
can, yeah.
Rick and I live down the
We'll work,
street.
we'll work with you.
Yeah, no, it's, that's not the issue. I just wanted to offer if people were just taking, using the digital version and just throwing the paper in the garbage, then, then I would offer to just remain digital, but à la carte, but we'll continue. The delivery is not, there's no problem. It's just, I just wanted to throw it out there if people wanted to change, that's all.
Gotcha.
And they really help on the site visits, I think.
They do. They do.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree. I like paper as well.
All right, we'll keep it going and anybody on their own wants to accommodate and just talk to Tim and other folks, staff. Number 6 is the fall newsletter, which is awesome.
So nice.
So
Awesome.
nice.
So nice.
Beautiful.
It is.
Looking at it electronically.
I like the Beaver fun facts.
Yeah.
Well, then why is it in black and white?
Well,
Plus one way to pay.
And the twisted awns, like I didn't even, I had no idea, like that was so cool. Did you read about that with the grass, like it keeps it from blowing away? Very cool.
Tim, are they getting a lot of clicks through for it, or? The newsletter?
I haven't measured that with the webmaster lately. I have been interested in that, and I've done it before. It's something I could request from Mary Mao, which is fine if you're interested.
No, I just was saying, I hope people are looking at it.
Well, on that, what I have done and will do again is I break these apart as pages. And even on your own, I get them on Nextdoor and I can get 500, 1,000. I can get some eyes on it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily be aware of it, but we're fine.
that's.
And my
cool.
goal really is to just get people aware that it's out there and maybe
Hmm.
start going to the conservation site for looking at whatever.
Yeah,
But it's really useful just for that. And my hope is to drive just regular traffic back to the department.
really neat.
It's great.
It's great
It's great.
job, Tim.
It's
Really,
just great.
absolutely.
And it looks nice too.
Yeah, I give Nicole credit. She's very talented at putting these together. Her and I work together on the content and the topics, and then she takes the ball and runs, and it does a great job. And I think they're well received by this commission as well as others that get it. So this will also hit the 40,000 on the first selectman newsletter. So it does get out there.
It's
Oh,
good,
good.
great, good. All right. Anything else on that, folks? No. Okay. Number 7 is informational. Parks and Rec Department scheduled to fully replace the playground at Penfield Mills Open Space in summer 2026. That speaks for itself, I guess, right? All right,
Yes.
Yeah, I can see.
all right, so
Playground is a little sad.
It's very sad.
old business, number 1 is 265 Westley Lanes.
Don't have an update on that. I need to reach out to the consultant, Bill Kenny. We talked. I met a few times, and that one slipped. So I'll reach out to him to discuss that as we had discussed as the
So
as the commission and the agency.
after the last meeting we had, can I make a suggestion that we can could pursue this as a wetland violation rather than as a conservation easement violation for reasons that I think are apparent in this point?
No problem.
Thank you. I don't know if anybody has any.
I
comment.
absolutely agree with
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
very strongly. That one really festers for me.
Number 2 is update on Old Dam Road Trail Project Open Space.
Briefly, the department cut the most recently, I know I brought everyone up to speed on where we stand in South Pine Creek, but most recently we did cut the new trail spur or entrance as we discussed and had planned from the historic unauthorized loop out to Pine Creek Avenue next to the playground. Tom, JP, and the crew did a great job. We partnered with engineering department and the town drone to attempt to locate the trail path that we intended. When you're in the middle of the 12 to 14-foot phragmite, you have no bearing out there, so it was difficult, but engineering was helpful, and that was the day one of our machine rental with the Bobcat skid steer. And thank you to Commissioner Hood for sending those photos around today, so you could see firsthand what that looked like. I think it came out very well. It needs a little more finesse, but it is walkable. I walked end to end myself the day we completed it. So a sign will be coming shortly, and over the winter and into the spring, it'll need a little finesse, but it is there. So people can access that open space from Pine Creek Avenue.
That's that area I always considered to be a waste space, and it's kind of like the, pig's ear. It's really turned into a gem. Really, really good. Proud of you guys for getting that done.
Thank you.
It's very dramatic weather down there, no matter what I go.
Sure, yes.
Can I address the commission on this point?
Is that what you're here for? The Old Dam Road?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Come on up or stay where you are. That's fine. Just tell us your name and address. Yeah.
Mark Egan. I'm a director on the board of the Pine Creek Association.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go over old history and all, but just to be clear, I have a meeting scheduled with Tim and the town attorney on Monday at 11 a.m. to talk about things in the kind of the chaos of when we all learned what was happening to the trails and the entrances. The first selectman's office invited us to discuss further keeping open the existing entrances, and that'll be part of the discussion I think we're having with Tim on Monday. The community is not happy. Both neighborhoods. I've talked to a lot of people. The property owners that are adjacent to the trails, the private property owners that, people were walking over for decades to access these trails. I've spoken to them, so I kind of know where they're sitting with all this stuff. So we're hoping that we'll have a productive meeting on Monday and can kind of get the neighborhood a little bit happier about how things stand and how they could be kind of fixed.
Well, I'm not quite sure what the problem or the concern is. How do we access town property over private property? I don't understand how.
The town attorney is going to be at the meeting. That's what we're there to discuss.
At this point, though, put yourself in my shoe. What would you want me to tell people that they can go over your property? I don't see how we can do that.
Property owners are completely amenable to it. And they're talking
Yeah, but
about.
they may not be
other
future
solutions.
property owners.
Well, whatever. Then are they gonna dedicate space, dedicate the property, give an easement or?
I'm sure that.
They're all the things we'll discuss on Monday. I just wanted to, if the point of this.
I'm glad that you're
was to
here.
Say that we're going to tie this in a bow and it's done. I just want to let you know.
I don't want it to be argumentative here. We've made a decision already. Now you can do what you'd like to do, what you are doing.
At
And
the invitation of the first selectman.
that's perfectly fine. That's great. First selectman, however, isn't the person that makes decisions regarding conservation.
Yep.
We do as a body. The first selectman is there doing her job the way she needs to do it, and she's there to talk to you. And she has every right to do so, and you have a right to talk to her. And town council's there to discuss on behalf of the first selectman. And Tim is our agent, so he'll be there to kind of discuss our position and what occurred here. So he's well aware of what occurred here. So, I have no problems in whatever you're gonna do, but where we came from and the decision we made for not just for one neighborhood, we made it for the entire town.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I just want you to understand where we came from.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I understand that. And you made that decision based on everyone's site visits,
Yep.
Tim's recommendations, see it all here. You didn't make it based on community input because no one knew you were making the decisions.
No, we did make it on community
Guys,
input. I remember you had come in when it became when it was brought to our attention first with, I think it was Attorney Bochanis, if I'm not mistaken. At that point, you did have counsel, even though he should have advised you, or you should have known
He's
that.
not a lawyer representing the association. He's on-
Okay, so some individual was with you, or you were here. Forget about Attorney Bochanis. You were here.
Yeah.
Somebody was here.
First time I've ever been to
This is
it.
the first time you're here?
Well, we could go back and look.
Yeah.
But there were several.
There were
people,
several
and We had a lot,
Folks that came.
Back in June is what I've read from the minutes.
Yeah.
And then
And then
we were
nothing,
advised to,
no further discussion until the letter came out saying it.
well, there's notices.
I know you have notices. I know that.
That's,
I'm new to the board. I didn't even know
that's
this was
legal.
going on.
that's legal notice, unfortunately. We don't go knocking on doors to everybody and say, hey, make sure you come to our meeting. That's notice.
I understand
and
that.
I just say one thing that might be a little helpful if you're gonna go forward is we had several sidewalks. I took extra. There's at least, I think 4 separate sidewalks that are in, maybe they can be in one place that you really need to have a look at if you're gonna be going forward and discussing. There's a lot of information you can get just from that, and it's sitting on the conservation site. I can tell you haven't seen it, so
What do you mean by
that's
site-
important.
So
That we have documented sidewalks and
Sidewalks.
Yes.
I mean, I've read them.
there's at least 4 of them, and I think they would be helpful. One thing I would say, I think you have to understand is that there are pathways through public property that terminate at a person's property where it says no trespassing. And I'd like you to look at that in the sidewalk photos, because I think that's a very important issue. That's why I want you to focus when you're discussing this, because I think that encapsulates the problem we have here is that, and I kind of thought, I walk along, I'm on public property that's been cut by a private person, but when you get to that person's yard, it says, get out.
That was,
That's a problem.
Did you talk to the adjacent property?
I
owner?
just want you to understand that the documents are there for you guys to look at when you go
I
and talk.
just,
so we had to, with all the information we had to balance the neighborhood's wants versus the town's ability to manage its property the right way. And taking into account liability issues. So you can't go to one of the ball fields and start cutting the grass just because you feel like it.
Can I
Right?
just-
That's exactly what was happening. here.
bigger than that, though, we have no right to provide access across private property. That's
Well,
just,
that's
that's just off the table, so.
And I just want to add
Not off the
that
table. We're talking
I'm not-
about-
Excuse me?
There's not gonna be one title
With
company.
the information that we were provided, no easements, if I was to come to your house today and say, I'm the Conservation Commission, I'm gonna have all these people walk across your property, you would be pretty pissed off at me.
Right.
but it's not.
Yeah,
it's
so
not
that's
even-
basically the same.
Not at all.
And it's not even that, but this commission needs to take a long-term view. And so just because the current property owners are okay with it, doesn't
Well, they
mean
would have to grant some kind of legal
they
instrument.
would have to, right, exactly.
But you didn't talk to them. And that's why we're having this
Well,
meeting.
We did.
I want you to understand that we did talk to them, and some said, I don't know, some said, I'll talk to my insurance company. So we had as much information as we're given.
We also had a phone call from one of the property owners that thanked us very much for stopping the people from accessing the property routinely, so.
And I've heard some other stories about that as well.
Okay,
So,
but it is what it is. So,
Obviously,
yeah.
I mean,
I just want, one thing's very important. When we got
Tim's recommendation memo to you. When we got the cover letter eventually that explained that the decision had been made, the response from the association was, we've read your goals and, you know, the reasons why you're doing this, and we support them completely. What we don't necessarily agree with is that everything that was done was necessary to achieve those goals. And that's why I asked for the meeting, and that's why we're having a meeting on that.
Okay,
Great.
I mean,
That's great.
that'd be great. And, you know, happy to come in front of us if all of a sudden all those property owners are either giving up their property or doing an easement and they want access, we can try to figure it out.
Yeah, no, I
That's
think
fine
that'd be
when the time
great,
comes.
but at this point, that's not the case. So
Yeah.
we had to act on the information that was before us. But yeah, if you guys can make some accommodation.
I'm confident that the
Fantastic.
town attorney and Tim together will give you all the options and
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
great.
I'm
Thank you for
assuming you're here with
Yes,
this
I
as
am.
well. Yes.
Yeah, so Kathleen O'Grady.
Yeah.
And, you know, just piggybacking on that, the whole process, you know, I was one of the people that was on one of the site walks with
Yep.
you at the pouring rain. There really was, you're not required by law to get back in touch with us about the fact that we're going to be on the agenda, but nobody, probably a courtesy would have been extended to say, by the way, your PCA association, we're notifying you that you're back on the agenda. And that this is, we're gonna be talking about this one. That would have been, again, a courtesy. I understand you don't have to do it. I also, the fact that the decision to bulldoze 2 new paths through the marsh was made without ever talking, as far as I was not aware that you spoke to, there are 3 property owners who had adjacent private property that people for 30 years that subsequent owners were fine with them doing, understood where you come from a legal standpoint, that you can't have the public going across public property. However, that decision to bulldoze those 2 paths, this project was made without ever as far as I know, without ever speaking to those 3 property owners about whether they would be willing to either do an easement or perhaps donate that property, that marshland property, which is of no value to them for building. It's hard to understand why those conversations, very easy conversations, were not had before this decision was made. And one of the property owners that I understand made the comment of, thank you for stopping the trespassing, owns about 4 feet of property. That could easily have been, there's another property owner right next door who would have been and still is much more.
I just feel uncomfortable that you're here advocating for these property owners. If they were so in tune with, I want people on my property, they should have been here and talking to us.
They weren't aware.
They were aware. When we did that, when they were aware.
They were notified, as far as my understanding.
They're not here now. Are they, did you
They
get that?
Mark's meeting on their behalf, but
Well,
there was no notification other than a note.
there are so many issues, and that's part of the things we discussed. I wouldn't want to bring it up again, but I know I said that there are so many issues with liability to a private property owner letting anybody walk on their property. It's really, it amazes me that they're not here, but you're advocating for them to give up their property
I've
rights.
spoken to them over the last 2 weeks. They know that I'm here.
Okay.
They know that I have a meeting on Monday.
Irregardless, we have no right to give.
I wouldn't
access to
be
private
concerned about
property.
the private property liability. If that's, I would be concerned about the town
Well,
liability, and we cannot
And then we have
advise people.
liability on top of it.
Listen,
No, we're not
but
gonna-
I hear what you're saying, Katie, because if all of those people had come to us and said, we're willing to give you an easement in perpetuity to access these trails, that obviously would have been great, but let's not forget also that the town has a right to do with open spaces we deem necessary. So bulldozing the trails, any kind of trail maintenance, trail cutting, is a part of our purview, and we have the right to exercise those decisions. So to me, the fact that the trails were cut really bears
Yeah.
no significance at all in
I
this
don't understand what
conversation.
Well, other than the fact, in my opinion, other than the fact that the expense and manpower and additional disruption of the Marsh property could have been avoided if there had been a conversation with the property owners that were adjacent prior to this plan.
Well,
And they were not aware that this was on the agenda until they were notified by certified letter or whatever it was, the decision has been made.
There's been no door closed, so you're welcome to have that conversation. I think we acted and made a very good faith effort. And we established a trail system that wasn't even on the, didn't exist before this. I mean, it existed but it wasn't an official trail. Now it's an official trail system, part of the town trail system.
And
And-
because of that, it will be maintained for safety, invasive species, like it'll be maintained.
It existed privately.
It existed.
Well, it didn't
Wait,
exist
just-
as a-
let's just, it does need to be said, it existed privately. Look, I walked my dog down Pine Creek Avenue for 10 years. It would never have occurred to me I saw that entrance. It would never have occurred to me to say, what is that? To go in there. There was no signage. I think this was a wink at public access, but I don't believe it was legitimate.
Well,
And I'm really weary of this being presented with some sort of altruistic benefit to the public, which it did not have. This was a private trail that no one knew about, that the locals used. And I'm really bothered by now, when this was on 4 separate meetings, as I recall, coming in and saying, we didn't know when you're terrible people for not coming and knocking on our door. This is crazy.
Said that.
I'm sorry, this is
Well,
really.
It is true that the meeting at which the decisions were made, no one from your group showed up. And that's the meeting,
from my
it was
group.
on the schedule that we
Not
were
aware.
going to decide on this issue, and I frankly was shocked. I thought, well, where are they? They seemed so upset about this.
Because we didn't check the
We weren't aware.
website to know that we were on the agenda?
Yeah, that's
But
what
it
people
was an
do. That's what
ongoing
people do.
discussion. It was on several
We were not aware of
agendas.
that
You need to be aware when it's something that's on.
Well,
So I have
let's-
a question though, if the private property access points hadn't existed, would you guys be here? I mean, are you really fighting for those private entrances? Is that really what the problem is?
My personal view is that closing the private entrances didn't serve any of your stated goals here.
Well, one of our stated goals is to maintain a trail system that's open to the public.
We came and asked you to maintain the trails. We got you involved. That's how this whole thing started. No one ever thought of them as private trails.
It's never gonna be a trail.
Can I just say?
It would never have been the way-
Serenity Trail was on Google Maps. It was no
This
secret.
doesn't legalize it.
It was on the town website.
It was on the town website.
It's
It
on
was
the town
never a
website.
secret.
But prior to clearing the trail
People
recently,
involved
was
trails
it
can
on
trespass on
our
people's
trail map
property.
and in our trail book?
It's not curated.
We don't, we didn't,
was
we
on-
can
No, it
only,
wasn't.
Tom is saying no.
we can only control it what the
The
town.
health department
No
had
control.
put it out there.
owns private property.
I would also say that the trail that's been cut or revitalized from Kiwanis Field.
Yeah.
You know, the new old dam entrance. I was walking on that 5 years ago. I don't know, it must have been a trail before. It's not something that anyone in the neighborhood.
And I would have postured that, and you could tell from the site walks that we took and photographed that it was intentionally blocked. That's my position, that it was intentionally blocked. There's pictures, so we published
I
them.
mean, you're saying that the neighborhood wanted to keep the public out.
I didn't say that. I said it was intentionally blocked by someone. It's been built up. There's obstruction there. But again,
But
I hope when you do go to discuss this, bear in mind,
You've had your,
Now the current path to Old Dam.
this was a private trail. This simply was not a public trail. I think this is all a fiction. It's really,
and now we made it a
I
public
think we need to
trail.
move on.
Yeah, we
Now
made-
it's a
well-
public trail and it's accessible to the public and it's great.
Commissioner, we've
It's gonna be
moved
the same
down,
trail.
listening to the folks here, and then they have a meeting scheduled with the first selectman and town council and.
Just out of
and let us know
curiosity,
what comes of it.
are you gonna offer easements or some type of?
I'm there to listen, to be honest.
It's just because.
There could be a variety of solutions in restoring the existing entranceways. I think the town attorney will have ideas. I may have some ideas. It's a discussion.
All right.
The existing entryways that would
Yes.
benefit the locals, but they'd have no relevance to the rest of the town.
Yeah,
That's
let's-
really not a
let's-
logical
let's move on.
position for any town to take. There's a fantastic trail there now and it's gonna be connected out to French Street. It's gonna be wonderful. And that's gonna be open to the public. There is no public benefit to making some private entrances for a few.
You're not
network
making
people.
private entrances, you're taking down. big
Tired of this.
fences that were put up for no legitimate reason.
All right, I'm confident that.
There was,
Tim
Move on.
let's move on.
Move on to the next
will
subject.
take care of it.
All right. So, number 3 is the Mill Hollow tree dedication of the first selectman. Tim?
Yes, thank you. The crew has worked diligently with Heather recently at Mill Hollow to create the lawn conversion to meadow, as we all know. Phase 2 was to remove at least 12 to 15 large trees of heaven along the shoreline at the bottom of the initial entrance. Not only was that significant invasive removal that took about 2 or 3 days to complete, because the trees were large, but it opened up the view shed to the Mill River, and it looks really nice. And with that, we planted 4 big service berries, 2 swamp white oaks, and a sweet gum. With more to come. So we got rid of a lot of invasives. Not only was there Atlantis, but there was also a significant porcelain berry and Asiatic bittersweet and others. So it was a real jungle. Looks great now. Working with the first selectman's office, Mike and Ronnie Widmer, and through Mrs. Gerber. We put together, Ron did a great job, a small kind of semi-private ceremony on Monday, this past Monday, and we gathered around one of the white oaks, where reference was made during the July celebration of life for that one of the biblical psalms mentioned strong roots of an oak along a river. So it was very appropriate to name the tree with the best view that we just planted for in Bill's name. So it was a quick, relatively quick, and very nicely done ceremony along the river. And there's a few speakers, and it was done, very nicely. So just wanted to let the commission know that the tree dedicated to First Selectman Gerber is on town open space at Mill Hollow.
All right, nice job. Thank you. Open space land acquisitions, the current acquisition frequency is 2.43 months parcel. All right,
Nice.
still at it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there's no bills and communications, no legal enforcement. And staff reports, number 1 is update on the new tractor.
The only update is that there's nothing new on the new tractor yet.
No new tractor.
No new
There's a
tractor,
new tractor yet.
Number 2 is the update on thieves.
but we might be able to get a nice Suburban
Thieves,
out.
Oh my God.
It's a Lincoln Navigator, mind you. It's a Lincoln Navigator.
on Fiefs, significant demo and rebuilds have occurred since the last meeting. You may or may not know or have seen the town highway paved 3 aprons at the bus loop and the parking lot with asphalt. The loop is pretty much complete. I was there on last week shooting grades with engineering, and they confirmed the pitch, and we discussed bus drop-off locations, what those landings will look like, what the stone dust path will look like, what we'll have for borders to keep the stone dust in. ordering 1.25 inch stone for the bus loop, all kinds of things, but significantly on the back, which entire back of the lower level of back of the house was removed. The footings were inadequate, and really where the entrance door is in the back, if you recall, into the basement, future lab area, there were no footings at all. The post holding up the corner of the house was rotten with water damage and termites. So in order to get the concrete floor to match levels on the inside, they needed new footings and did that in 2 separate stages. But as of today, as of a few days ago, new footings are in, concrete footings are in. The demo's ongoing inside, but the back wall is now reinstalled. New windows are in the back that were below flood level. So, in summary, continuing to make tons of progress by the week. So that's what's happening there right now.
We're gonna have our youth conservation thing there on Tuesday.
Yep.
We're the first select one. Well, that might be its first official, right? Might be the first official use.
Peter, would you want to put that in other or no? Say it now.
Is it another? No, I'm just mentioning it in terms of that it's just adding to Tim's, that it's gonna have its first official use. It sounds
Right.
like on Tuesday.
Tuesday at 3, we're gonna have the Youth Conservation Award.
Yes, and anyone who's there, will see the amount of work that's been happening there firsthand.
This Tuesday at 3.
It'll probably be me that trips over the whatever. Pretty reliable.
Is that something we're talking about?
Maybe there's.
I just want to motion no.
Sorry, we're just
Can you read
reading
the chat, Tim?
the chat.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm not aware of that. I'll speak to P and Z about it.
Yeah, and that's something for inland wetland anyway.
Good.
Great.
Um,
Thank you, Joseph.
yeah. Tim, are you good with Fiefs?
Yeah, and like I said, whoever can attend the YCA award next week we'll see that, but it's a ton of progress as we had mentioned in the newsletter, which is ongoing.
Excellent. All right, meadow mowing on 12 open spaces. That's just information, right?
Just informational. We have that machine, the track machine for 2 weeks. And despite the hydraulic hose damage today on the machine, which we'll have to get back for 2 more days at some point, we did complete meadow mowing, and as practice last year, we pushed back as much as we can because neglect over previous years has allowed forest successional encroachments into the meadows, and I think meadows are few and far between as far as land use and habitat in this town. So anything we could do to extend and the meadows that we have on open space, we are pushing back. So it's the crew,
It's a battle.
JP, Tom, Jake, and John are doing a great job every day for the last 2 weeks.
They are. I notice it. I've seen a lot of it. And I'm sure other people have too. So I just have to keep saying that every time. There people know and people notice and they appreciate it.
That's right. Excellent.
One thing we've been noticing from an ecological standpoint is since last year was the first year we started this, the improvements are significant and very noticeable just in the vegetation that which a lot of the meadows I'm seeing that were previously mugwort or some other, plant type are now, 80+% goldenrod or something similar. So it's the fact that we're mowing it and is creating that benefit the following year, growing season.
It's just
Nice.
super great.
Great.
Battle.
Ciao. All right, anything further, commissioners, for Tim? Nope. All right, number 4 is Perry's Mill Ponds Open Space, Joy Shaw Trail dedication. That was great.
That was great.
It was
We can
great.
Talk about it before, yeah.
Yeah, most of the commissioners were there, so I don't have to say too much. But Joy called me that afternoon. I was so happy. I think the whole thing, made her year. It's well deserved, obviously. That goes without saying, but it's really nice. I think we have one little wet spot on the trail that we'll have to improve, but it is open. It's functional, it's historic, it's, honors her, but also creates that connectivity between the Hollow Open Space and Perry's Mill Pond and Fiefs. So it's, that level of function is key. I'll mention, JP's masonry work. Everyone saw that stone staircase is just fabulous that, we could do that in-house. The News 12 covered it. I don't like to be on TV or in pictures, but they got me, and everyone saw that. So it's really nice. She continues to call me, which is great to be in touch with Joy. So
Great.
well done by
She's a
everyone.
treasure. She really is a treasure.
But if you do good things, people are gonna wanna talk to you and take your picture.
Have to get used to it.
All right.
And you did a great job on News 12.
Yes,
Great job.
absolutely did.
I think they did a better job editing.
All right, number 5 is miscellaneous reports. A is the new hire, Alexandra Blair.
Alex is you've probably seen some emails from her. She's our full-time administrative secretary. She's doing a great job. Let's stop by and meet her. Some of you already have. She's super sharp, friendly, go-getter, on top of it, looking for more work constantly. So it's nice to have that fire in the office and getting things done. So very happy. I think it's only been a couple weeks, but she's doing great. So
Well, give her a big welcome from the commission.
thank you. I have two others that didn't make the staff report.
Go ahead.
Just a quick update. As of this morning, I have a draft of the natural resources inventory. It's 86 pages, so hopefully our plan, Michelle Ford and I are going to have a draft in your hands at the next meeting for review and finalization. The intent was to do it in calendar year 26. So we're getting close, but we're still on track. So that is that. And last, as you saw per my email earlier, the sweet treat of Boyden Hill's own honey. That is all for your enjoyment. It's very tasty. I've had it. That's unfiltered right out of the hives. Thank you to Nicole for and our friend on Stonewall Circle who assisted us with that to extract it.
Well,
And
since you,
that's all I have unless Tom has something.
Kate was asking if you can taste the mugwort in it.
No, I can't.
Maybe it tastes more like goldenrod now.
Maybe, I was gonna say, now it's gonna be goldenrod.
Yeah.
It's golden honey. Yes, here we go.
Asters.
It's fantastic.
All right, so moving on to other. Our commissioner here has a comment, presentation, or whatever. And Dabney is gonna be talking to us for a few things.
So I was gonna do like a little presentation, but I figured most of you know what I do, but for the record, and for those who don't, I run a nonprofit called Call of the Wild. It's 501(c)(3), and we do wildlife rescue and rehabilitation. And I am licensed by the Department of Environmental Protection. And I am sanctioned by the Fairfield Police Department as their wildlife expert or advisor, appointed by the last first select woman. And I've been doing this for about 5 years. I do it out of my house. I have a few volunteers. We have a clinic and cages and enclosures and the whole 9 yards. And I'm a wildlife ecologist by education. So this is really what I love. My challenge, or one of my challenges, is always to find appropriate habitat to release rehabilitated animals into. I ran into an issue recently with one of my neighbors who didn't appreciate the fact that there was a new raccoon in the neighborhood, despite the fact that there are probably about 60 other raccoons in the neighborhood.
I was gonna say.
This particular raccoon, which was a rehabilitated juvenile whose mother had been hit by a car and was killed. We raised it, and it's so unfortunately didn't make it, but this one did. And found its way into her yard during the day, which isn't totally unusual for a juvenile without a parent. And she said, I don't mind wildlife, I just don't want to see it. And I said, well, it's out there.
Sorry.
She said, okay, fine, I just don't want it in my yard.
Some of it's in my attic.
I don't release everything into my yard, only when it's appropriate. My property, or 2 properties down from me, backs up into 30 acres of woods, and so that's appropriate, and I have a stream and everything, but I'm getting more and more animals every year that need appropriate habitat to live in. So I'm asking the commission if, when appropriate, I have the permission to release animals into open spaces. And those open spaces would be specifically Grace Richardson and Brett Woods, because they're not as heavily trafficked. They're larger, they have less immediate access to human habitation and roads and cars and stuff like that. But also Mount Laurel and Hoynes Hill when appropriate, because I also rehabilitate like foxes, for instance, who need more meadow field habitat. And for those animals like minks, for instance, that really need a lot of wetland and running water and really dense habitat. A place like Mount Laurel would be far more appropriate with rocky outcroppings and things like that. It's important to note that I do rehab rabies vector species. Every single one of my animals, before they are released, are fully vaccinated for rabies and distemper. And are given a full vetting by one of 2 vets that I work very closely with to make sure that they are disease-free and ready to live independently into the woods. So that is my ask.
No problem.
So moved.
Anybody have?
We welcome the wildlife in the open space.
Yes.
You just give me a call when you do that, so we know,
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
right?
There
Yeah.
should be some procedure in place, though. Maybe like you should tell somebody that it's gonna be.
I can absolutely do that. We also always release in the early hours of the morning before there would be people on trails, and active, usually at sunrise.
What would be your guesstimate of, like last year?
Okay, so this past year I had over the course for between like late February is when we get a lot of the activity starts, because baby season starts in February. So releases really start in like June, early June, late May, early June. I released 18 raccoons, 2 foxes, several squirrels, two minks,
Minks Italian.
minks.
Wow,
Yeah.
cool. I
Nice.
learned something new.
They're like, I mean, they really just look a lot like weasels. I mean, the weasel family.
Sure.
They are extremely elusive. They do not
Sure, not politicians.
want anything to do. They don't want anything to do with.
No beers or fisher cats, right?
No, we are not allowed to rehab bears.
That's what I'm worried about.
No bears, no fishers, no coyotes,
I've got about 8 deer you can.
no deer. No deer. We just don't, I mean, the first three are for safety reasons. The deer is because it's just impossible to
They're everywhere.
Now, would you
be
expect,
without sedatives. What?
would you expect any pushback from the neighbors in these open spaces?
No, because I would never release near a house. It would always, so like, for instance, for those of you who are familiar with Brentwoods, on the far northwestern corner, I think it is all wetlands. It's all heavy marsh. Actually, a family of coyotes that lives back there. So it'd be like, you know, back in that area. I almost never release on trails. I try to like get back into the woods a little bit again, just so that we want to avoid human interactions. Human interaction is the reason why animals come to me. They get hit by a car, they are poisoned with rodenticide, they, flew into a window or got caught in your soccer net. You wouldn't believe how many animals get caught in soccer nets here. The only animals I don't rehab are songbirds, waterfowl, and bunnies and mice. I do some raptor work with another rehabber that's in Weston. So, and I will do, there was an egret that just needed, it was, had gotten cold, like every once in a while I'll do like a bird like that, but not, we released it in Perry's Mills, actually in Mill Hollow, and it, was the boss.
So is there any kind of state restriction on where animals can be released or anything like that?
No, most rehabbers release on public land.
Okay.
Even that we're not supposed to release in state parks, although plenty of them do. It's really up to us to get permission from private property owners, and there are a few of those around Fairfield. There's one in Reading that lets me do some releases. We always try to do it where it's most appropriate, where there aren't other dense populations of that species, where they have the best, like for instance, raccoons have to be near a water source. So near, along a pond or it's better for running water, but a pond or a stream or a brook or a reservoir or something like that, where the animals can get the best food sources. And that's another reason why we usually like to go in dense, because most of the invasives are on the perimeter. So we try to give them a space where there are food sources, native species, other animals, lots of dead deciduous maples and oaks that have hollows or are decomposing or, so we go to a lot of trouble to make sure that
Could
it's.
you also use aspeton?
We could, I could get permission from them.
Just because they've got a lot of additional parcels.
Yeah, Peter will remember when we were going through the whole dog leash thing. I don't know
They have
how
a-
receptive David Brand
They
would
have a
be to me.
constituency of abutting landowners that put a lot of pressure on them. And a lot of the entrances have been closed and moved around. And if you go to some of the nearby places, all of a sudden you just, and they've rerouted trails. They're very responsive to the abutting. And I think,
Yeah.
fortunately, over responsive.
Yeah.
And my understanding is they did lose membership on one end and maybe they've gotten it back elsewhere.
Right.
I'm not knowledgeable.
Right, some of their properties like Devil's Den and would be and, Trout Brook is the ideal
Yeah,
Trout Brook.
yeah.
habitat,
Yeah.
but, based on past interactions I've had with them, I doubt they would be available.
Okay.
So for one
Because
thing.
I was thinking of Trout Brook specific.
For one thing, I think that nonprofits are a little more uneasy about the potential liability. You know, somebody gets bit or a dog gets attacked or whatever, you know, so. Any other questions?
That's great.
We should probably do that by way of a vote.
Okay.
Is there any motion?
Sure, I'll motion that.
Go for motion.
I'll second.
We partner with Dabney to permit release of animals, appropriate controls, et cetera, et cetera.
And I'll make sure that I notice.
Yeah.
You can even come with me.
Okay.
With the appropriate notice and controls, something along that
Dabney
line.
has recused herself. Dabney was the petitioner, whatever, the plaintiff. And there's a motion from
Is that what we
Pete,
come
seconded
to?
by Ted, and I'm assuming all in favor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll release them all in the back of Tim's car.
Yes,
Right. Anything else on others? Other?
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything before we go? All right. Thanks, Tim.